Where is Neil? It's 10:30 p.m. and I haven't talked to him since 6:14. This is episode 2 on my deep dive on my diary reading. So as you can see, I was all tripping because I couldn't find Neil. At the time, we hadn't even been dating for 6 months. And I'll tell you why I was tripping. This is Nicole being straight up honest with you. This is what these deep dives of me looking back on my diary and the things that I wrote into it. The reason why I was tripping on where he was at is because I was doing scandalous ass shit when he wasn't around. Straight up. My husband would be gone at work, or I would be at my apartment and I would have just gotten off work. At the time, I was working for a place called Cajun's Wharf. I was a bartender and a cocktail waitress slash regular waitress at Cajun's Wharf. And honey, I was making about $400 to $500 a night. Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday at this establishment. When I tell you guys I was good at what I did, I was good at what I did. One of the main things that I would do when I would go into this establishment is I would take off my engagement ring and put it in my motherfucking pocket because I didn't want my regulars to know that I was engaged, because I wanted to make that extra Skrilla, if you know what I mean. Okay, who says Skrilla? That was like so back in the day. But anyways, just adding that for extra touch. So I would go in there, I would flirt with the boys, I would take my little methadone, I would take a couple of Xanaxes. I was out of control. I was literally balls to the wall, high as hell, waiting tables and flirting with every boy that walked in that motherfucking establishment, so that way I could make the most money that I motherfucker could make. I would get off work and it would always be like 2 o'clock in the morning by the time we left there, because especially on the weekends, we would have a live band outside on the patio. The way that this restaurant was set up is the back end of the restaurant faced the Arkansas River, and they had this beautiful patio upstairs that overlooked the river. It was beautiful. You could watch the sunset over the river. Barges would go by. It was just really a fucking rad ass spot to fucking eat, you know? I would get off at like 2 and I would come home and I would have Joe, my next door neighbor, the 50-year-old crackhead, come and meet me downstairs, and we would jump in his Honda and go drive to the crack man's house and buy like $300 worth of crack rocks. And I would stay up all night smoking crack rocks with my neighbor Joe. So I was having a guilty conscience because I knew that I was getting high without my boyfriend. And that to me, I shouldn't have been doing that. I shouldn't have been, even though Joe and me didn't have a sexual relationship, he was really a lot older than me. And he was just somebody that was a means to an end. I knew I could get a ride from him because I didn't have a vehicle at the time. So I would jump, like I said, jump in the Honda with Joe, and I would buy all the crack rocks because he didn't have no money. So we were using each other to each other's advantage. So he could smoke crack rocks all night, and I could get a ride to get the crack rocks and smoke crack rocks all night as well. So to me, in that diary, when I'm talking about, where's Neil? To me, I'm having a guilty conscience because I knew that if he was getting high, it didn't matter if it was with old lady Pat, with some old lady or some girl at night smoking crack rocks, I'd be pissed as hell. So I hope you'll return for the next episode and the breakdown of me deep diving into what I really meant or what was really going on in the diary entries that I shared with you guys here on my account. You can click my playlist and it'll say diary entries, and I'm going to be reacting to each one of those videos.